Hello, this is Justin, and today we'll be talking about Green Lantern. Now, I'm going to try to get this out quick because it is inevitable that being a darn near 30-year-old comic book fan living in his parents' basement, somebody's going to call me or interrupt me. Okay, I'm not darn near 30, I'm only 22, but who's counting? Things I didn't like. The pacing of the film. I felt like it was paced a little bit too quick. You could tell it wasn't trying to be your typical origin story, but even still, it was like it was boom, 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 boom. From the opening to the closing. Now, it kept you interested. There's no way you could fall asleep. But I felt that instead of pacing the movie around action, they should have took more time for character development. That's my biggest thing. There was very little character development in this movie. Another thing I didn't like was there was no real with what I said before. Since there was no character development, there wasn't a real connection to the characters outside of what we're told we're supposed to feel. We're supposed to like Hal. We're supposed to not like Hector. We're supposed to not like Parallax. We're supposed to fear Parallax. But there wasn't a lot of reasons. Parallax is different, the guy basically rips your soul from fear. So that's pretty it's a pretty good reason to be afraid of somebody. But outside of that, I mean, Hector, we really didn't get any type of delving into his past or anything like that. We were just told, okay, this is gonna be the bad guy, and it was like, all right, pretty formulaic that way. I didn't like that we didn't see a progression of Hal's powers. Granted, it's Green Lantern, and yes, he's supposed to be creating, these insane things just out of his imagination. But we didn't see a progression. I would have liked to see him create a very unstable, very weird-looking constructs, and then progress into like race cars and things like that. I mean, it was like pretty much right out of the gate he was able to create swords and things like that, and it was like, okay. Another thing was his reactions to the world, to Oa. I'm a huge GL fan. Oa is practically in my head ever since I was little. If I ever go to Oa, regardless of me knowing or feeling that it exists, I will be awestruck. This is someone who has never heard of this place, never seen anything like this. There are thousands of creatures walking around that range from everything insectoid to cybernetic. And this guy's like, okay, sure. Come on. No way. Your reactions would be, he should have, this is the one time I actually wanted like Shia LaBeouf's reactions and things where he was like, no, oh my god, what is this? Like, I mean, this was like the first time I was like, okay, this actor should be overacting. This should be like, wow, I'm not used to this. And it just goes back to Ryan Reynolds. He wasn't a good choice. He wasn't. Not for Hal. Maybe Kyle. Maybe Guy, probably. But not Hal. No. That I didn't like that choice. That's like picking Will Smith to play Jon Stewart. It's just it doesn't. Well, Will Smith is an actual actor, so I'm not gonna even. Or so we're told. So that was another thing I didn't like. I didn't like that Hal's reactions to things were so content. I'm like, all right, I guess. you know. Um, I don't know. I can go on all day with things I didn't like. Things I did like. Being a GL fan, I love that it stuck close to the lore. I love that they didn't hold back. I also love that this wasn't your typical origin story. The fact that they kind of went straight to Oa, showing all the lanterns, showing the Guardians. I mean, if you think about it in comic book terms, like this would be in scale, it would be second movie worthy. In some respects, not in the entire movie, but in some respects, I mean, you're not gonna have a first Batman movie, and he's gonna already, be at the Watchtower chatting it up with Flash and Green Arrow. But that's kind of how this was. It was like, wow, kind of straight to the homeworld. All right, cool. I appreciate that. Another thing I liked or loved, Sinestro. Sinestro is just okay. He's like my top 3 favorite villains of all time, and just the way that he was portrayed was excellent. Visually, he looked like Sinestro, and one thing I appreciated was that he wasn't shifty-eyed. There's always this foreshadowing of a villain, especially when you have a movie that's franchise material like Green Lantern and it has a fan base. What most writers do is put that heavy foreshadowing. That, okay, this is the bad guy. Look at the way he's looking. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a bad guy because he's like cutting his eyes at the. It wasn't like that. I loved it. He was what Sinestro should be. I mean, very strong-willed, which makes him one of the most powerful Green Lanterns of all time. I mean, he just wants order, but his means of seeking order are unsavory. I really appreciate that. One thing I do want to get on, though, is that his eyes were huge. Hilarious, but huge. It was just funny. God, because it's crazy because his forehead, his widow's peak, and his eyebrows are like all business, but his eyes are like party. Like his eyes look like he's been surprised by Alvin Shore ever since he was in training. Like he wakes up every day to birthday parties. Like, I mean, his eyes were huge, and it kind of bothered me. But like towards the middle, I was like, "What the freak?" Like, I kind of liked this. Like, it was weird. He was looking into my soul. He was staring into my soul. But it was really good casting for Sinestro, and the actor's name just left me. Give me 1 second. I knew it. It was Mark Strong. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Mark Strong is already a powerful actor. Anyway, I like him. Very versatile. But as Sinestro, I mean, just awesome. What else I like? I also like how they didn't hold back with like the whole construct. Green Lantern is about making giant catcher mitts and things like that, and they really did that, especially with the whole racetrack thing. Spoiler alert, I guess it's not really, but whatever. That was like so Green Lantern, or so Hal Green Lantern. I mean, that's just classic stuff. I love that. There were a lot, like I said, there were a lot of other things that I didn't like. My girlfriend gets on me about being overly critical, too negative. So I kind of hold back. All in all, call me a GL fanboy, but I didn't hate it. I know a lot of critics are saying I didn't hate it. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's just the girl who you met at the bar with a couple of drinks. She'll be a looker, but in the morning you'll be like, Do I really want to call her? So, I mean, you know, it is what it is, as the kids say, I guess. But, alright. I think I'm gonna do a X-Men First Class review. Yeah. Not looking forward to wasting my time on that. It's not gonna be so much of a review as it is going to be a me pointing out all of the mistakes. That, I mean, is tune in for that. That's gonna be a fun video. But alright, I am the Justin, and you have been imparted upon knowledge.